Today we're going to perform a procedure known as dye trimming. By the way, my name is Dr. John Antonelli, and we are going to perform a procedure entitled dye trimming, which is a procedure that is performed on removable dyes of master casts for the purpose of removing all of the free gingival margin on the dye 360 degrees around the dye, and by doing so we uncover the finish line, make the finish line a lot more accessible for waxing perfect margins. So the process called dye removing is really a rather simple process. It takes just a few minutes to accomplish, and once performed correctly, as I said before, the finish line on the dye will be accessible, and waxing and trimming will be far easier to accomplish. So without any further ado, let's go to dye trimming. The instrument that I like to use for dye trimming is the pear-shaped slow-speed burr. It's a carbide laboratory burr. It has a cutting edge on the tip that is approximately 2.5 millimeters in diameter. The cutting edge along the side of the burr is approximately 5 millimeters in length. So it's the ideal burr for dye trimming. I would suggest when dye trimming, use eye protection, because this will kick up some dust and some particles, and probably a mask is also a good idea. So we're using our Mio motor for this procedure. We'll turn on the Mio motor at this point. And generally I will turn on the rheostat so the burr is rotating at either medium or high medium speed. When the burr rotates at a very low speed, there is a greater chance of the flutes grabbing onto or engaging the gypsum in the dye and subsequently causing the burr to skip, which in turn can lead to damage to the dye. So it's best to, as I said, rotate the burr at medium or medium-high speed. So we're going to begin, using magnification, we're going to begin the dye trimming process. We'll start trimming the dye at approximately 2 millimeters apical to the finish line. And we do that simply by applying light pressure and a good finger rest, thumbs resting against one another. We slowly engage the burr, remaining all the while at least 2 millimeters below the free gingival margin. A finger rest is essential in this case to prevent any inadvertent movement of the burr into the finish line. Essentially what we're doing is we're undermining the stone that comprises the free gingival margin. By undermining the stone, as you can see, we're left with a small lip of gypsum here that represents the free gingival margin, and that small lip of gypsum product can be removed quite easily with a very sharp number 25 blade, as you'll see me doing momentarily. Again, I continue to undermine this area without going anywhere near closer than about 2 to 3 millimeters of the finish line on the tooth preparation. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've just about completed that aspect of dye trimming. And as you can see now, we're left with a small lip of gypsum product that represents part of the pre-gingival margin. The very next step involves removing that portion of stone using a number 25 very sharp blade, preferably a new blade that is less apt to slip and cause you to cut your finger. And the other advantage again of a very sharp blade is the fact that you will not have to exert nearly as much pressure when removing the stone. Now when removing the stone, light pressure is exerted in an apical direction, just as I'm doing right now. The idea is to, as I said, expose at least anywhere from 3 to 5 millimeters of finish line in your tooth preparation, or external bevel if we're talking about inlays and onlays. So once again, I'm cutting in an apical direction. Just about finished. And now you'll notice how much more accessible the pre-gingival margin is. So much so, in fact, that if you take the side of a red pencil, you can mark that margin with the red pencil by simply pressing very lightly and allowing the red pencil to, I inadvertently marked the upper part of the die there. You can ignore that, but you can see what I'm doing in this case. Very, very light pressure against the die with the wax pencil is all that is necessary. And there you have it. This is a perfectly marked die, and the reason that red is used is it's a color that contrasts nicely with the blue color of inlay wax, so there's no mistaking about where the margin is. And again, as you can see, the shape of the root itself along the side of the die approximates the root of this particular tooth, which is a molar, and that's what we're trying to do. Any excessive trimming of the die in this particular area will result in a wax-up which is over-contoured, and that's, of course, what we're trying to avoid. Thank you.